Okay, so I'm going to explain how you would graph this function. Now this one is called a piecewise defined function, and really it's called that way because you're taking pieces of different functions and then you're putting it together. Okay, what I like to do when I teach these is I like to show kids, hey, this is really three different functions. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is graph each of those individually and then put them all together in one graph. So watch. The first one is this. And if you're not used to the function notation, just think of it as y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Okay, the one thing you should remember from that is this guy is the slope, which is m, and then this guy is the y-intercept. Okay, so to graph that, hopefully you remember, the shortcut to graph this is the first thing you do is put down where the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is -1, so I put a point on -1, and then you use the slope to find a new point. So the slope is rise over run, so I would go up 1, 2 over, and then you can do that as many times as you need to find more points. Right, and you can go in the opposite direction also. So that's the first part of the function, 1/2 x minus 1. Okay, that's 1/2 x minus 1. The next function is -2x. So again, if I go, I'm gonna graph it down here. If you look at -2x, again, think of it just as y equals -2 times x. Now that one is also in slope-intercept form. Think of that as just plus 0. So then this guy is the y-intercept, and then that crosses at 0. So I put a point at 0. And then that is the slope. And then remember, the slope is a fraction. So think of rise over run. Because it's negative, it's going down. Going down 2 and then 1 to the right. So I'm going to graph this down 2, 1 to the right. Down 2, 1 to the right. Down 2, 1 to the right. And then again, I can do the opposite and go in the other direction. Up 2, 1 to the left. Up 2, 1 to the left. And then that's the graph y equals -2x, which was the second function in the piecewise defined function. Let me lower that. And then the third function is y equals 5. Okay. And then y equals 5, that one is also in slope-intercept form. It's not real clear how it's slope-intercept form, but watch, I'll put it in slope-intercept form. Whenever it's just a function like that, think of, there's no x, so think of that as 0 times x. Okay, this is the y-intercept, so it crosses at 5. And remember, if you think of slope is telling us how something is going up or how it's going down. If it's not going up or down, that's 0. This is flat. Flat is not going up or down. So I know this line looks like this. That's 0 slope. Okay, so it looks like this. So now that we graphed y equals 5, and it looks like this guy. Y equals -2x. That one looks like this. And then the other one was y equals 1/2 x minus 1. That one looks like this. I'm going to put them all together on this graph. Okay. So this one says use y equals 1/2 x minus 1 when, I know it says f, but I like to say when x is less than 4. Okay. So if you come over here, remember this is your x function. So here's -4. I think I said 4 a second ago. here's negative 4. When x is less than negative 4, that means just take a look at this part. That means I only want, let me use something to cut this off. That means I only want sorry about that. I only want this part of the graph. Okay? X less than negative 4. Here's negative 4, and these numbers are less than that. That means I only want this part of the graph. Okay? And I'm not including negative 4. It doesn't have the line underneath. So if you look at negative 4, the line goes 1, 2, 3. It's down 3, 1, 2, 3. It's open there. And then it goes well, if you look at the slope, it's technically 2 to the left, 1 over, 2 to the left, 1 over. So it looks like this. Right? So this one is this. Same thing, right? It's the graph, but I only want it from negative 4 less than negative 4. Okay? I'm just adjusting this. So that's the first part. Check. I did that. Now the next one says the next piece I want is negative 2x when x is in between negative 4 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to look at my graph like this one, which is down here. And then I'm going to go over to 2. See, I only want it from 2 to negative 4. When x is from negative 4 to 2, that means I don't want that piece. Where's the 2 at? There it is. I don't want that piece. And then I don't want anything to the left of that. I just want this in here. Okay? And we can find the points that start and stop that. See, when x is 2, here's 2. When x is 2, I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So when x is 2, it's down 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one is a closed dot. It's a closed dot because that has the line underneath. See, this one didn't have the line underneath, and that's why I put an open dot on it. Okay? And then when x is negative 4, let me go back to my graph. When x is negative 4, here's x equals negative 4. I need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me just make sure. It actually goes up to 8. Okay. So when x is negative 4, I go all the way up to 8. So negative 4, 8. And again, it's a closed dot. Right? And then I'm just going to draw, I'm going to connect those 2 points. I'm going to connect those 2 points. Right? So then that's the middle one. That's this one, negative 2x. Again, only from when x is negative 4 to 2. See, here's x negative 4. I go from there all the way down to here. And then I know I stopped there because that's where the x value is 2. Okay. Now for the last one, take y equals 5 when x is greater than 2. So remember, here's y equals 5. And that's just a line going in both directions like this through 5. So when x is 2, here's x equal to 2. So I only want, basically I only want this piece. Okay? But it does have to be open here, and then it goes in that direction. So again, let me go to my graph. So at 2, that line is up on 5, open, and it goes in this direction. Okay, and this is what it looks like. it has three pieces to it, and this part tells us pretty much which part of this graph do I want to take, right? Again, let me try this with highlighters. Maybe you can see this better. The first one was 1/2 x minus 1 only when x is less than 4. So here's -4. I mean -4. So I only wanted this piece. So that piece correlates to this one over here. Okay. Then I want -2x from -4 to 2. Here's -2x, and I'm taking from -4 to 2. Right? There's -4, and then here's 2. So if you cut off the rest of it, that's what you're left with. Okay, and that's what I have here. Uh-oh. And then the last one is x equals 2. Hey, stop that. Hold on, let me pause this. Okay, and then the last one was y equals 5 when x is greater than 2. So here's y equals 5, and here's x equals 2. So you just want that part. Okay, and then again I'll show you how you know which one's open and closed real quick. So that one, this bottom one, correlates to this piece. So again, if you look at this here, because it doesn't have the line underneath, that's why it's open. Same thing with this one. This one does not have the line underneath, so it's open here. These two have the lines underneath, so those two are closed, right? For this function, it's closed and closed, closed and closed, and then these are open. So I'm gonna leave it there, and then you can rewind the video or do whatever you need to do to understand it better. But again, it's really three functions, and then you're just putting them together.